Okay, we're gonna do some work with polynomials. We're gonna start by just like doing a review of PEMDAS. Just a reminder, this is order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Please excuse my dear head salad. We go in this direction when we are evaluating. When we are solving equations, we would go backwards, but we're not solving right now. So let's look at this first example. Evaluate each expression. So we need to see which one do we do first. Well, we've got multiplication, we've got subtraction, exponents, and division. So obviously we're going to have to do, there's no parentheses, so we are doing this guy first, the 2 to the 5th. 2 to the 5th power, you could type in your calculator. We don't typically give a lot of perfect charts out in college algebra. You need to be savvy with your calculator. So it is going to be 32, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And now we'll go ahead and rewrite it. You can also type this whole expression into your calculator at once. Your calculator is smart and will do it for you, okay? And then we can see we got subtraction, and so then multiplication, division, you can go and do those at the same time because they're on the same step, right, of order of operations. So that would be 27 right here. I'll highlight which ones we're doing. And this guy is going to be 8. So 27 minus 8. And that will get us 19. Okay, let's move on to this next one. Again, we're doing order of operations. So you can type it in your calculator all at once, but you need to be careful. If you have a calculator that is fraction friendly, meaning that has a button that would actually type in fractions well and make it look like this, and that's great. If not, then you need to make sure you put parentheses around the top and parentheses around the bottom. I'm not going to do it with a calculator because this is pretty easy. 2 to the 4th power is 16. And then I'll go ahead and rewrite it. In the denominator, because these are separate anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do the multiplication because multiplication comes before addition. So that would be 6. Now we'll go ahead and do the top. That would be, the numerator is going to be, I'm sorry, not 15, 5. The denominator will be 15. And then you can simplify this fraction, they both divide by 5, so 1/3. We're now going to move on to some distribution. We're going to do some distribution, rewrite each expression using the distributive property, and simplify if possible. So this is probably old news, right? You multiply 8 times x, you get 8x. You multiply 8 times negative 2y, and you get negative 16y. These are not like terms. Please do not try and combine them. That is your final answer. Here we have fractions. Please don't let them bully you. You are allowed to use a calculator whenever you like in college algebra, so you can always do the multiplication of the fractions in your calculator if you want. I'm not going to do that just because we can probably handle this. We're going to multiply. When you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. So this would be 3 times 5, so 15, and 4 times 6, so 24, x. We move on to the next one, 3/4 times 1/2. So again, multiply the numerators, that would be 3. Multiply the denominators, 4 times 2, that's 8. And then on this one, this is 28 over 1. So 3 times 28 is 84. So negative 84 over 4. You can use your calculator, like I said, to simplify any of these, or you can do it in your head and figure out what do they, both of those numbers divide by. 15 and 24 both divide by 3, so it reduces down to 3/8 x. That's wrong, I'm sorry. Would be 15 divided by 3, wow, okay, 5/8 x. This next one is 3/8 times y. And then this last one, if you do 84 divided by 4, you're going to get an exact number here. You're going to get 21, so minus 21. If you want right away, what I'm saying is like you can do this in your calculator, 3/4 times 5/6. If your calculator defaults to decimals, there should be a way to convert it back into a fraction. probably a button that says F to D or S to D. Okay, for these two examples, we have absolute value. We're going to plug in 13 for M and -9 for N and evaluate. I know we've been talking about PEMDAS, but another way that you might have heard it is GEMDAS, like with a G. And so we use G instead sometimes because it stands for grouping symbol. So absolute value would be the same kind of thing as parentheses. You have to do that first, okay? So we're plugging in 13 for M and -9 for N. So I'm gonna use parentheses, multiply by 13. And then here we're multiplying by -9. And we're gonna take the absolute value of that. So go ahead and, you still wanna go ahead and figure out what is the inside of that first. The inside of the absolute value would then be 26 minus 45. I'm just kidding, that is not right. 3 times 13 is 39. Sorry. Okay, if you subtract those two things, you're going to get the absolute value of -6. And remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. And so when I say absolute value of -6, how many spaces am I away from 0? The answer there would be 6. Absolute value should always be positive. Okay, let's plug into this next one. Go ahead and write down what it would look like. Okay, so we substitute those values in. This is what we get. We need to figure out what's inside of all those absolute values first. So this one would be the absolute value of 26. Got it right that time. And we'll come back to this one. Here in the denominator, we've got 13 plus -9, so that's the absolute value of positive 4. Where absolute value is a distance from 0. So this would become, okay, the absolute value of 26 is 26 spaces from 0. The absolute value of -9 is positive 9, so it would be 3 times 9, or 27. Positive 27, right? Because I'm talking about positive 9 spaces from 0. And the absolute value of 4 is 4. You can go ahead and add up the numerator. That would get you 53 over 4. You can check in your calculator 53 divided by 4. Try to convert it to a fraction, see if it reduces. It does not. Do not want it as a decimal. It's college algebra. Please leave it in fractions. Let's talk about exponent rules. Okay, first up, anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. That's what this guy says. The second one here, if I have multiplication, I need to keep the base and add the exponents. Power rule. If I have power to a power, that's this guy, I'm going to go ahead and multiply the exponents. And then here, it's the power rule, but with multiple things here. So this one you can see you've got steps side by side, multiplication. Here we've got division. You need to distribute your exponents on these. Okay, so it says over here, raise each factor to that power is another way to say that. Or E on this one, the numerator and the denominator to that power. So this is not perfect, but basically both of these are asking you to distribute that power to all of the bases, okay? Let's go ahead and do some examples. Sorry, it says 13 through 16. Obviously, we're not talking about those. We're talking about these. We're talking about using our exponent rules. All right, here, when I have parentheses side by side, that just means multiplication. So I'm multiplying -5 times 6, that's -30, times -3 would be positive 90. And I add these exponents, 3, 4, and this guy has an exponent of 1. Okay, if we add those together, 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1, 8. So 90x to the 8th power. This is an example of the power rule we see on number 2. So we are distributing that exponent to all of these powers. So first we would go ahead and multiply. This is power to power. Multiply the 5 and the 4, so that's 2 to the 20th. maybe I'll say the rules here, add the exponents. This one we're going to go and multiply. And this would be 3 times 4, so y to the 12th. 2 to the 20th is a really big number, which is why I'm not going to evaluate it. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. But normally if we have a combination of numbers and variables, you would want to go ahead and evaluate. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. Again, I have multiple bases, multiples of exponents, so I'm going to distribute or multiply these together. So that would be 4 to the 15th. And then the exponents here, 2 times 5, gives me z to the 10th. Again, 4 to the 15th power is a really big number, otherwise I would evaluate it. Okay, number 4 is a little tricky. Let's recall that -3 does have an exponent of 1, so does the b. If I don't see an exponent, it's a 1. So you're going to go ahead and multiply all of these exponents or distribute, if you want to think about it that way. When I do this, I need to make sure I take -3 in parentheses to the power of 2. Okay, and then we've got a, it's 3 times 2, so a to the 6th. 1 times 2, that's b to the 2nd. And then 4 times 2, that's c to the 8th. Okay, now you can evaluate this one. The -3 squared, that's -3 times -3, so that should get me +9. It's important when you have a negative base that you put in parentheses so that you don't forget, like when I'm taking it to an even power, it would be positive. If it's a negative power, it would be, or an odd power, it would be negative. So 9 to the 6th, b squared, c to the 8th would be your final answer here. Let's talk about negative exponents. Okay, let's start talking first about the quotient rule, which says that when you have division, you are going to subtract your exponents. And when you have a negative exponent, you need to move it to the other side. Okay, obviously we've got 35 over 25. That can simplify and divide by 5. So if I divide by 5, it'll be 7/5. When I have a negative exponent, I need to move that exponent and its base to the opposite side. So we're going to move it up. X to the 6th gets to stay because it's positive. But x to the 4th moves up top, and when you move it to the other side of the fraction, it becomes positive. Obviously, if I have things on the same level, this is multiplication, so I go ahead and add those exponents, and I'll rewrite this one more time. So 7/5, and you should have x to the 10th on the top, or in the numerator. All right, number 6. Again, if you want to use your calculator to simplify fractions, that's totally fine. You would do 34 divided by 51 in your calculator. It gets you 0.6 repeating, and then convert it back to a fraction. It tells you it's 2/3. That's because both 34 and 51 divide by 17, but that's not one maybe you're quite as familiar with. So we would go ahead and reduce it down to 2/3. And we're going to use the quotient rule, which says that when I have division, the same base, I go ahead and subtract my exponents. So I would subtract 8 minus 12, I would get -4. And 11 minus 5, that gets me 6. Now you can't have a negative exponent if you're simplifying, so this needs to move down, making this fraction become 2b to the 6th on the top, and then the denominator, 3a to the +4. When you move it to the other side, the whole reason of doing that is so that the exponent becomes positive. Okay, last one. So order of operations says do the parentheses first. We need to do this power to a power. We need to multiply the exponents. So it would be 5x to the 3rd times, that would be then x to the -12. And because I have multiplication, I'm now going to add these exponents. So 5 x to the -9th, but remember, we do not want a negative power And so we're going to send this to the other side. And you might be asking yourself, well, there is no other side. That's fine. You can make another side, right? Just right now it's over 1, and so you're going to send this to the bottom. So it becomes 5 over x to the 9th. Any empty spots become a 1. If like both of these things were to move down, we'd have to fill the empty spot with a 1, but that 5 in this case is going to remain up top.